Hey guys, I'm Rick, and that is One Big Pile of Bricks with our amazing guest Andy. Woo!
Hi guys.
Andy, how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you, but very tired.
Did you have a good day today?
Very good day. Today we have been in
Legoland, Windsor. This is why we have an amazing graphic towards us. Now, I just want to point out that the rooms at Legoland are very expensive. So if you just rock up for the day, it's like £600 a night. I brought it online, it was like £350, but my first room smelt pretty poorly. So we had to change rooms. We're here now, and that's all that matters. Does that sound about right?
It does, yeah. This room smells nice.
This room smelled. We came up and they were like making sure it smelled nice because I was
spraying it.
They were spraying it because the other one smelled poorly. So everyone listening and watching at home, Andy, what do you do for a job?
I create upscaled Lego artworks for galleries and museums and custom Lego sets.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Now explain to everybody, besides me because I know what's going on. And I'm going to pretend to be excited for you because I already know. What sort of sets do you specialise in?
Specialise in predominantly art-based sets, so sets based on famous artists.
I actually have one, which if I can do magic later, I'll put it here, but
you'll have to build it later.
I know I'm going to have to build it, yeah, that's alright. How have you found being an artist in the Lego space?
It's been good, it's been... It's exciting and adventurous, I'd say.
Yeah.
Uncharted territory for the most part. And discovering what you can do with art and within the boundaries of what Lego allow you to do as well.
So, I know the answer, but I'm going to pave the bear. How many cease and desist letters have you had from the Lego group?
3 so far.
3. Now, anyone listening and watching home, Lego is massively protective of the minifigure as their key point because that's
and rightly so.
That's the only thing they really own now. They don't own the Lego brick anymore, but that's what happens because that's a part of life, right? Like things change hands. Like what's happened with Disney and Winnie the Pooh, same deal. It happens. How have you felt finding your way in the Lego space and finding a market for yourself or creating a market, I should say? I had really good exposure to start with because Lego and Brick Live both liked what I did at a very early stage. It was literally the first exhibition I ever did. Representatives came down and saw the exhibition and loved it and then took me to London. Wow.
For the first ever Brick Live in the Excel. 100,000 people came through over 4 days. So it was massive exposure. Met Kjeld there as well.
People who don't know, that's the owner of Lego.
Owner of Lego, yes.
Grandson of the founder.
Grandson of the founder, yes.
And what was that like?
It was quite a bit overwhelming at the time, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting it, and suddenly went, almost that's Lego royalty walking in there.
Well, he is. He's like...
Yeah, it's his. Everything Lego is his.
Your heart sort of flutters a little bit, right? Because you don't know what to say, and you're scared you're going to say the wrong thing.
Yes.
And what was his reaction to your product?
He really liked it. Called it fantastic and very creative.
Was that when you were doing the big Lego studs?
The huge upscaled studs, the dollar bills, which I'm still doing, and the dropped ice creams.
I do have a dollar bill that I purchased. It's in my office at work.
You've got dropped ice cream as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I've got a pink one. It's in the shop, so if you walk around, you'll be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find? Now, I have to word this carefully so we don't both get in trouble. Sorry, guys.
Because we've been talking for long enough now.
How do you find? Looking at the current Lego home range, which specialises in upscale wood products, compared to your products. See, I know the answer. This is why I'm poking the bear.
Yes. So again, wording it very delicately. With looming cease and desist on the they have definitely drawn inspirations from past products I've made, shall we say. Is that the most politically correct way to put it?
This is the problem I have. I don't know what to say, which is not going to get me into trouble later. Or, so it's like... choppy waters, as they would say, so we have to be careful what we say. Do you find that your product is a unique product that it has an important place in the Lego space?
It's definitely a complementary product, not a competition product, and that's the way that I've always angled this. Is always filled an area or a niche in the market that Lego doesn't, or at the time didn't, fill.
A little bit different now.
It's a little bit different now because they've realised that there is a market there.
But that company is Room Copenhagen. They call themselves something else now. They've changed.
Yes, indeed. It's licensed out.
They're a different company now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm coughing because we had Legoland food today, so that's why I'm coughing. They
or you can eat pizza.
That's exactly right. Sorry, Caroline. With like Room Copenhagen, they do things a bit differently, and their product is, I'm going to say it, and I know it's probably going to be, but is quite pricey and very overpriced. We used to stock it, and we stopped stocking it because of how expensive the wooden products were.
Yeah, the wooden products are incredibly expensive,
and they're little too. They're not like a big brick. They're like really tiny.
Just like the wooden figures.
Yeah, we used to, but they no longer give them to us because we sort of cut ties because
it all came as a package.
Yeah. So like they sell the plastic storage containers too, which are super expensive as well. Like, which if you notice, they don't really sell them anywhere in the parks here at Legoland or in the Lego stores. So
yeah, saying that, I didn't see
so
that.
If they don't sell them, something's wrong.
Yeah, because the giant wooden ones I see in quite a lot of the design.
Yeah, the fancy stores, right? Like
yes.
Like the Nordic, they're all in the Nordic kind of stores.
It's very design orientated, design led.
And it's super light. I don't know how it converts to pounds, but it's not very price friendly back in Australia. I think it's like $300 or $400 for like one of the little wooden ones.
Yeah, it's probably about half of that, but in pounds. I don't know what the
conversion is. Yeah. Which is like crazy to think about it, right? But it is handmade, I guess. I don't know. I don't like commenting too much on the aftermarket products because I don't want to get in trouble. That's always the way.
Yeah, and they are good products, and there is obviously a market for it.
Yeah. So. And what have you found with the reception that you've had in the Lego space with the Lego community? Has it been a positive one?
Yeah, Lego community has been fantastic. The community in a wider sense has been incredibly embracing it. In fact, even Lego themselves have been very embracing. I've got products in their head office. You might see them when they go to Billings. It's in the community.
The community,
so they've bought products and it's on display in their headquarters. So Lego, I think, like what I do. Lego's lawyers not so much.
Yeah,
and I know they're protecting the brand. That's their job as well. So
and it's always hard, right? Because you're trying to figure out, like, we're all here to make money, and that's the aim, right?
Coexist within the space.
Coexistence of the Lego space.
Don't want to be competition. Want to be complementary.
Yeah, and that's the way it's meant to be, right? Same with us. We sell the product. We specialize in it. The Lego stores have a place, and we have a place, and it's trying to find that right balance of somewhere in between the two, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what has been your overall bestseller that you've ever created?
From an artwork perspective, it would have been the giant drop ice creams.
Yeah, I have one. A pink one, I think.
Yeah, because they were unique as well. It uses the iconography of Lego, but it's taken a playful twist on it as well.
How much work does it take to make one of those things?
So much work.
Is it all hand, like?
It's all hand.
You do one each, like.
Yeah.
Man,
they're quite big as well. About sort of this big.
Yeah.
About
30 centimeters, Nelly?
Yeah, 35 centimeters ballpark, and about 2 kilograms in weight because they're solid as well. So created it's 4 different components. All of which
it's pretty cool. Like I have one. It's up in I don't know, the register area. There's one like sitting up at the counter. We always get asked about it. I'm like, you can buy them from his website. Like, go for it. Like, if she's done. Well, one day, hopefully, we're trying to figure out the best.
It's logistics against
it's logistics, because we're in the UK. Oh, you're in the UK. I'm here now. But like, logistically, anything to get across is always hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's travelling half around the world, so it couldn't get any further away.
Well, that's exactly right. So with the artist space, do you find it hard to find certain parts for sets that you're creating?
Yes. So there's always some of the sets are fine. I try to use common bricks, and custom printed bricks as well to make them unique. But some pieces I want to have precise pieces, and I've struggled with them. So the two that spring to mind are for the Damien Hirst sculpture that I have. I've got the shark in the tank.
Oh, cool.
And the shark, I wanted to have the 90s shark because it was...
how hard to get that piece?
Especially new, because it had to be new, it couldn't be played with, it's going into an artwork, it's like, it can't have marks on it. To have the 90s shark, because it was just plain grey, simple shark. The new sharks have eyes and almost look smiling.
Yeah, the new sharks are really weird
friendly
looking.
Aspect to it. It doesn't
try not to be as angry looking. I think that's the point.
Yes,
right?
And exactly. I mean, it's a toy aimed at kids, so that makes sense. But for the purpose of this artwork, it had to be that specific shark from the 90s. And then the other one that we spoke about earlier was I create a Welsh flag, and the tail of the dragon in the flag is a bionicle spine. And it has to be in red because it fits in with the colour of the flag. And the red bionicle spine was only made for one figure, and that was Venom Venom had 4 of them coming
my
out,
God.
but only that one specific
Yeah.
figure had them. So there's not many of them that were ever created. And again, trying to find them new in the world has been very difficult. So whenever I find them, especially if I find them
You're gonna buy
in
heaps.
volume from anywhere in the world, I just buy them,
Well, Matt,
get them sent over.
Legoland Germany in like a week, they have like the biggest pick-a-brick in the world. It's like a room just full, and they have weird Bionicle parts from time to time. So you have to send me a photo, and I'll like.
Completely.
If I see it, I'll just get like bags of it and ship it over for you. Because I'll be back in the UK in like 2 weeks, so we could like just do a handover.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because then, like, if it's there and it's cheap, it's like.
Future-proof.
Well, you have to, because it's just one of those things, especially Lego do this thing where, not so much now, it's starting again, where there's all these unique parts in certain sets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's danger zone if you're creating an artwork or you're building a custom piece and you need that part, because it can range from $1 or £1 to like £10 a part, and then you're in trouble, right?
Because these Bionicle spines that I get, they often pay about £1 a piece for that, and I have one in each set. And ultimately, all the other bricks are normal price, so it can still be
like
it can still be
even sell
made.
that.
But that one piece has always been a problem piece from day one. But there's no replacement. There's nothing that looks the same.
How do you find? I'm trying to word this where I don't offend anybody. This is the problem. I'm trying to like, because we've been talking all day, and when you talk all day, you're just like, and then you're trying to like figure out the best way.
Now we've been recorded. Don't offend people.
Well, this is the key, right? So we did the vlog together today. So I'll edit that maybe tonight if I get time and like put it online tonight. But like, I have to be careful because I know I'm going to say something that's going to be like really bad. So, and I'm tired too. It's been a big week. So with Jesus. So how do you find dealing with different people when you're making a product? Like, is it hard to find the right team behind designing a product, like printing and packaging, and how do you go about doing all that sort of stuff?
Yes, there was definitely a learning curve to start with. So I designed them all myself. There was definitely a learning curve with the packaging to start with, because the original packaging that I did were foil printed boxes with sleeves. So all the foil printed boxes are the same, and they're quite nice, but then they're sturdy boxes, so you can keep them as well, so you can dismantle the product and put it back in the box. It's not designed to be thrown away, but then the sleeve is disposable.
Is that this one you gave me today?
That's the one I gave you earlier, yes. You can have it.
Keep chatting, look at the camera, I'm just going to get up and grab that thing.
You can have those, if you pull the sleeve back ever so slightly, you'll be able to see a bit of foil printed branding on there as well. But they come in about £2.50 a box.
I don't know if guys can see that, it might not focus, but that's the box there.
Yeah, so the cost price of them is quite high, which is fine because those sets
look how pretty it is.
A bit more expensive in work. So then when I started going to the cheaper sets, the margins were never
Brixies. That's pretty cool.
So I've started moving into bags, sort of almost taking on the Lego style of poly bags, using a bag system to go into. And that's the combination of the boxes for the more premium products, and then the bags for
So the bags are like
lower priced
when you're doing like the brickhead style ones?
Exactly, yeah, because they're a lower price point, they're less bricks as well, and they fit nicely.
And what's the price point for, say, the brickheads?
Brickheads are £35.
I guess that, I don't know, is that good? I don't know, like, sell it to me, Andy.
Well, it's more than Lego would sell it for, but I think anybody who designs
custom.
something is always going to be more than Lego sell it for. So yes, the custom aspects of custom printed bricks on it, custom printed elements on the bricks as well.
Yeah, but it's cool. Everything about it's
custom
cool.
Custom designs, that's cool.
And I'm getting distracted because there's a mirror, like...
Are you looking at yourself?
No, the mirror here bounces off the other mirror, and behind the bed, there's a bed head here that's like a wizardy. It's the wizard premium room, you know. And I use premium very lightly, but it's like they've got like
the lights are sparkling.
Yeah, the lights are sparkling, and it's like catching my attention.
It's the potions.
There's potions and stuff. And if I organise myself, I'll do like a little tour of the room later on my phone, and you'll be able to see. But if I like tidy the room a little bit more, because we just got in and it's still raining. It's been raining like towards the end of the day.
It has. Although we did successfully do
the whole park. It didn't really get wet. It was like a little bit of rain.
Drizzled on once, but then as soon as we left the park, the black clouds came over and it absolutely.
And nothing against the staff at Legoland, right? Legoland wins most of the staff. Like it's been a 50-50 thing. We got served at like a cafe where they were selling like drinks and stuff, and I was getting a bottle of water and some Skittles, and Andy got a bottle of water. She was like, have a great day. It was like, just like nothing.
No emotion.
No smile, no emotion. And I was like, you know, and she might be on, you know, she might have stuff going on, but like,
Yeah,
it was the same for every customer.
it was. Yeah, and I think also because we've come off season as well, and it was incredibly quiet in the party. I think it must have been quite bored.
It was dead.
We walked
today.
on most
Everything
rides.
was walk on. Do not overpay
Which is
for
great,
a
I'm not
stupid
complaining.
pass. Like that pass is dumb. Don't overpay for it. But it was like everything was walk on. Everything we wanted to do.
Yeah, because even on I think one ride we had to queue for, and we're like, oh, queue.
We're like, why? And I think it was the Lego. Which one was it?
It was the new one.
sensory experience, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's not Dreams, it's the Mystique.
Oh yeah, Mythica.
Mythica, thank you, yes.
A Mythica ride, which is eerily similar. In Legoland, Florida, they have another ride that's like a 4D ride that you hop in and it's like Emmett flying through a town. It's very similar. It's all the same stuff. This one had smells and like sprayed on it.
Yeah, the smells are really good actually.
Yeah, I was surprised considering how did you find the park today? Honestly.
It was, I suppose it was a little bit devoid of life, just generally. Like when
Yeah.
we started, when we were walking down, and we generally weren't sure if we were walking the wrong way, walked into a staff area, out of bounds.
We were like,
had to ask a member of staff.
I'm like,
because
are we okay to be here? And it's like, yeah, keep going. And I was like, it's dead.
Yeah, everything was closed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The rides were closed, nobody was there, and the park just opened, and we're like, where are the people?
Yeah, it's like,
Where are the staff?
I guess it's spring season starts in a couple of days. It's
Yeah.
like a big sign, but it didn't feel very... I try not to be critical, and I understand that it's hard to make it like everything is awesome, but...
You felt a bit tired, I suppose.
When you got a park that's... You know, and this is my third park in this trip.
Your third Legoland.
Legoland park,
Yeah.
not third overall park. I've been to Disney and
You've been
stuff.
spoiled with Disney.
Disney is just premium, so you feel a bit like... Oh yeah, like... this is great, and then you come to Legoland and you're like... And you know, all credit to them, they're doing a great job, but it's very hard to compare Lego with Lego, like Disney stuff, right? Like it's always hard.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm coughing. The aircon is on for whatever reason, and it's blowing around. But it just felt tired, and you know, you guys will see the vlog. It'll be on before this podcast, and it was just a very interesting day today at the Legoland Park.
It was underwhelmed at times, but I suppose the rides were good. I did enjoy the rides.
Dragon Coaster, is that what it's called?
Dragon Coaster was good, yeah.
And what was the other one?
And because the Dragon Coaster was so quiet, we
got to stay on it.
We just stayed on it and went on again.
But the thing about the
Did you get to
Dragon
do that?
Coaster, it was like, it needed like, I don't know if you guys have WD-40 here, I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
It needed WD-40 because as soon as it came around that weird corner, it was like screeching, and then you got through that.
But you didn't notice the screeching until the screeching suddenly stopped.
Yeah, and then you were
And
like,
you're
oh.
that was a
It was
noise.
like trying to like get itself around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So do you find in your space, I'm bouncing around a bit because, you know, this is what happens when you're tired and you're all over the place.
I'm going to be chatting for the past 6 hours anyway.
We're just talking for like non-stop all day. How do you find the art community? Are you finding that with the Lego-based products, other artists are copying your style?
Not so much copying. No, I haven't found anybody who does it, especially with the upscaling stuff. It's quite difficult to do as well. So
Yeah, because at one stage I was looking at I don't know if you still do them, the Lego studs.
I don't do them.
They were like,
But
you used to, right? Like, yeah, and it was like, I understand it's handmade, but it was like £1,000 or something.
3.5.
3,500. It was a lot, and I was trying to convince Caroline.
It's a very large artwork. It's 2 meters squared.
Yeah, I was trying to convince Caroline like we should buy this for the store.
Oh, I'd be so
And
tempted
she
to
was
sit there.
like,
It was incredibly heavy.
She's like, no way, like, because it was like, but it was impressive. And is that what Kield saw the first time?
It was, yeah. I had 2 of them on display when you saw them, and they're still on display. I'm not really making them as much anymore, but they are still on tour as well. So
With you, because you have a travelling show, right?
a travelling show, yeah. It's a group show called Brick by Brick, and it's.
Is it close to us?
It's in Hastings at the moment, which is sort of not too far outside London, but also not convenient. But yeah, it's in Hastings Museum and Art Gallery.
If I knew, I would have like visited.
At the moment, we could have done a blog there.
Oh, we could have done it. We could have done it there, right? Like,
But then I'd have missed out a day in Legoland.
yeah, that's exactly right. Like Legoland's been fun. Like I've had a pretty good time.
It has, as much as we might have bashed it earlier. It's sort of
Yeah, we
two,
kind of bashed it a
two
little
middle-aged
bit.
men complaining about the theme park.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy that
goes
goes to like the Legoland Discovery Centre and goes, "I don't have kids, but you should let me in." Like it's like, yeah, you know, it's you can't. Kids would love it. Adults struggle. That's what I think it is.
Yes, completely. Kids would get lost in it, as in the imagination side of it. I think it'd be.
And there's a lot of
that's
build
the target
areas.
market.
There's a lot of build areas everywhere. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff to find at Legoland parks. You know, like when I'm lucky because I get the opportunity to see a lot of parks this time. I think it's 5 or 6 parks in this run I'm seeing. The next one is Billund. I know, Billund or Germany or the other way around, and then maybe Malaysia on the way home if I have time. But it's like once you've seen one Legoland park, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, and you did do Legoland Florida as well, didn't you? Which is kind of like Legoland.
I like Florida, but it was a bit like a ghost towny as well. Like it wasn't busy
because it's off season.
It was kind of busy, but it wasn't. But half the stuff was like they had these random buildings that used to have stuff in them that don't have stuff anymore. Where they're building, they had the Ferrari experience in California, but I don't think they had it in Florida yet.
Oh, okay.
But they're building one here,
yeah.
which is like a test track with a Ferrari on. But do you like being an artist in the Lego space?
I do, because it's quite playful.
Or are you at the point where you're tired?
I'm always tired.
Life of an artist.
But I do enjoy being in the Lego space because pop art's like what I gravitate towards generally, and Lego's playful, so the two lead into each other really.
Lego's so good, and it's that uniquely playful product that, you know, it's very versatile. It can be used in anything, right?
And so many generations connect with it nowadays as well.
Yeah.
People have grown up with it, and then they've got kids who are now getting into it, and they're coming back into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I can remember the first time I met with people from Lego, they asked when I came out of my dark age. I don't know if they've used that expression. Yes. Because everybody has Lego growing up and then grows out of Lego.
They find other things like life, and then they're like,
and then they get back into Lego at some point. It's like, when did you come out of your dark age?
Well, and you can see how popular Lego is today. That the dark ages, a lot of people are coming out of it because they're around our age. You know, they're sort of discovering the product. That's why Lego can sell thousands of dollars of sets. And it's just, you know, it always surprises me how much people are willing to pay for things.
We'll talk about that earlier, won't we?
We were, because we were just like, oh wow, look at that. And you know, like
£800, great.
Well, and you're just like, wow, like, and it surprises me how, you know, how much people spend, but it's always the way when you're in a park like Legoland or Disney or Universal or one of those big parks that like producing cash.
Yes, indeed, captive market.
What if there's anything you could change about what you do right now? What would it be? That's a loaded question, isn't it?
That's a real loaded question.
I'm all about keeping us on our toes today.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that one. If I could change anything about what I do at the moment, what would it be? Really less cease and desist.
No comment, no comment.
I'm joking. Because, I mean, I'm on good terms with them now, let's say that. Once because the cease and desists are always about one specific thing that you do which they don't like, and you're like, okay, fine, I won't.
I think it's hard too because they've got so much product out in the market that they're trying to find, you know, things must get pinged in Google or they've seen it on, you know, at a show somewhere, because that's what usually happens, right?
Yeah. And they come, I suppose it's their job, isn't it? They come at you quite aggressively, and then as soon as you actually start to get a conversation with them, they actually...
Just to be clear, this is not Lego, it's their lawyers.
Yes, indeed, we have this...
Just so we don't get anyone in trouble, like, it's the lawyers, not Lego.
Yes, and fully appreciate they're doing their job and protecting the brand, so we understand that. As well.
How do you find this room that we're currently sitting in? Do you think it is worth the £600 that they charge at the door?
It smells nice.
Well, now it does. The previous room, not so much. The previous room felt in medieval times and smelt like an old school toilet.
Yeah, it smelled like, medieval times, yeah.
Yeah, because it was really bad, because when we walked in, I was like, oh. And I don't know if, that's why I was like, Andy, does this smell? And you're like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, oh, maybe.
Just, drains straight away.
And then, like, they fixed it for us. I'll give them that. They were like, yeah, no worries, we'll fix it. So.
Yeah. Yes. I wouldn't say it's worth the £600.
It's not worth it,
would you? I know that's not what
I'm gonna be honest, and probably not. Like, to be honest with you, you know, like, I understand that you're at Legoland, and I get that it's like, but you know, £600 if you come on the day. I think I paid £393 in the end, which is a lot of money. Like,
yeah. And
even Caroline was like, "Whoa, that's a lot of money." I was like, "Yeah, I know it is, but it's Legoland." And I've stayed at pretty much every park now. I've been to California, and I thought, I'll do it. I'm here anyway. But you know, even Billund's the same. It's like $300 or $400 Australian dollars a night. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. And I know you get discounts if you're a Lego employee, but I'm not one, so I don't have the pleasure of getting a discount. But it is quiet. Like, you don't really hear any kids like.
Yes, it just seems small. I think that's the only thing. I mean,
This room, right? Like,
we were walking around and trying to find the best place to set up, just to put
Yeah.
2 chairs down.
we were like, do we set up on the bed like we were about to set up OnlyFans? Like, because we were trying to figure out where the best angle was to set up the cameras, you know, like.
And I'm sure you'll see when you do a walkthrough later.
Yeah, I'll do a walkthrough
Besides
later
the
and I'll
but it
film
just
it. Maybe I'll have to
sits
film
like
it on
compact.
my own iPhone because I don't think the camera will be able to appreciate the space in here and how actually tiny it is.
Yeah.
Because it is quite small, but that's just my opinion about it. And I don't want to be like, I'm complaining for the sake of complaining.
You do have a PlayStation 4 then?
That I spoke about this today in the vlog.
I'm poking the bear.
Like, I don't understand why they've got PlayStation 4s to play downstairs. Like,
yeah, and in all the rooms as well now.
every room has a PS4, and that's awesome. Like, I get that, that's great, but like, we're at PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah, you'd have thought Sony stroke.
Well, and if you're paying, you know, £600 at the door, which I nearly fell over when I saw that price. I was like, £600. Like, and I don't know if it's like an inconvenience tax that they're putting on there, but like, it just, to me, it just feels like, especially in a cost of living space we're having right now everywhere in the world, I feel like it's unreachable for a lot of people. Considering, you know, like, you could stay at a Disney park for not too much more.
Yes.
Which, you know, like, that's a unique experience in itself.
You can probably get your travel to Disney as well for that.
You know, I think you get free, I think it's like the hotel's right at the park. Like, you know, it's not like you're having to walk like down a plank of wood that's like dodgy. So do you collect a lot of Lego? Do you have a lot of personal Lego?
Not as much as I used to be honest. Because I don't know if you found the same, but because I'm around Lego so much now, working with Lego, that I don't collect as much as I used to. It was I collected a lot in the early days. It was very novel. And then the more that you begin to work with them, the less, I suppose, you collect into your personal.
That's what happened with me. I reached a point where I was quite sick. Obviously, I got autoimmune, so I was struggling, and then we sold off a lot of it because, like, what do you do with it all?
And then, like, I've kept most of it boxed.
And then, like, now it's like I've accumulated. I've got the modulars, and that's all, and the theme park stuff. But I recently sold off a lot of my build sets in the store because I was just like, what am I doing? And people appreciate, like, Disney Train. This is the stuff that people want, right? You know, like, and I was like, well, I'm just looking at it, and it's not doing anything here. So the modulars I'm a a bit more attached to. I might sell them down the line, I might not, but we'll see.
We built the modulars.
Yeah, every single one. The only one I don't have is Cafe Corner.
Are you on the hunt for it?
A friend of mine has one, and he has one that's like, he's already built and taken apart, and I've been asking to buy it for like years. I said, let me buy it, I'll pay you with the market value. Like, because I know you look after your Lego, that's the problem, right? Like, but if you get a new sealed Cafe Corner, the parts break. Because it was that era of, are you aware that's...
I didn't realise that was through a specific...
Yeah, so...
This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so like Cafe Corner, Fire Station...
Okay.
What's the next one? Grand Emporium, they all have breaking bricks now. It's just like, you'll pick it in like... And we've got a life-size Woody made out of Lego at the store, and he's got a broken brick on him, and then I had to like...
And it's glued in?
Yeah, I had to like glue up the part back on, because he has like a plug in his stomach where you pull out to put a pole in so you can lift him.
Okay.
The plug shattered. And I was like, what? Like, and there was a few swear words in there, obviously, but I was like... So I sort of just glued it and put it back on, because I was like, how do you even repair something like that? Like, especially because it's getting like crumbly as well.
Yeah. And did the colours match? Or did the colours begin to
They're starting to get that weird kind of fadey... But they went through a phase Lego where some of the parts were different colours.
I've noticed that.
You know, it's right. If you're building something big out of yellow, you're like, why is there 100 different shades of yellow?
Yeah, because even buying brand new bricks from Bricklink, if they're coming from different sources, when I get them, I'm like, these are different shades.
And especially in your unique position where you're making a set, you're trying to make all the shade the same. Because you're going to be a customer that's like, whatever colour it is, red or yellow, whatever Welsh thing you're building, you're going to be like, this is different. And customers are going to be like, this is a different colour, when you totally know it's not, but that's just... And you see it in the pick brick in the stores now, like even the one in our work, you're like, I don't know, it's whatever they're doing with the plastic.
Yes. Yeah, slightly different pigments, isn't there? Noticed it a lot in the yellows and the whites.
Yeah, a few LCPs that I know, I won't name names because I don't want to get anyone into trouble, they've commented to me a few times, white is really bad at the moment for some reason, and yellow has always been kind of weird because it'll be like a different shade and we don't know why yellow.
Yeah.
But
you don't notice until you put side by side, and then you can see a very slight...
And then you're like, I'll be building a set and I'll be like, is it the same colour? And you see it's like 10 different shades and you're like, what is going on? But apparently it's meant to be the same, you know, like... I don't know if it's like quality control or something's different.
Yeah.
But you've had an overall positive experience being in the art space with Lego?
Yes. Overall.
Overall?
Yes. I'd agree with that statement. Lego community, etc., has been very welcoming.
The Lego community is awesome.
And as I say, Lego has been very accepting and welcoming as well. So I want to say that.
Well, it's one of those things to make sure that, like, you're having a good, it's hard working with a brand and doing things that you don't know that could be breaking the rules.
Yeah, and at the beginning, I was very gung-ho and sort of Andy Warhol's, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. And then
I feel that.
And then when you start to work with them as well, you realise where the boundaries are, what they like as well.
Once you sort of get it, you sort of understand.
Completely, and then once you get sort of a solid communication with the sort of decision makers as well and the lawyers, then you work out how you can work and coexist within that space.
So we're kind of lucky we've got a pretty good marketing team in Australia. I'll email them and ask them, or I'll just do it and then ask later, being like, hey, I had this built. Because there was a big thing, we got a Triceratops made, a baby one, life size at a Lego in our store.
Mm-hmm.
And I was emailing, I forget who the marketing, there's some Julie or Angie, one of the marketing people. And I was like, is this okay? And they're like, is it going to be Jurassic World colours? I'm like, it's not Jurassic World official, it's just a generic Triceratops baby. And they're like, oh, no problem then. Because I think they don't want you stepping on Universal or Disney's toes. Yeah. Be like you if you started doing Mickey Mouse stuff.
Yes.
You'll get probably a knock at the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody in a giant mouse costume. You don't mess with the mouse.
Yeah, a giant mouse costume with giant
stack of paperwork.
Having he's got a bag full of mouse heads that he's about to clobber you with because you're about to break.
You're going down a very different route.
Yeah. But Disney's awesome.
Yes.
Disney's awesome. I'm just going to play that. I love Disney. I went to the parks. I gave them all my money.
You don't mess with their IP.
No, it's one of those things too. It's about finding the right time and the right place. There's a few IP holders we deal with, and it's always tricky waters that you don't upset the apple cart because you don't want to create issues where there's no need for.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're working on particular right now that's been super, super crazy busy for you?
The Welsh sets are the main ones that are selling at the moment.
I knew this answer, but I thought, let's ask you.
So anything, a lot of sets based around Welsh iconography, like the flag, the dragon, famous figures from Welsh history. They're currently in a couple of castles in Wales, a couple of museums as well.
And it's doing well?
Yeah, they're flying out. The whole
wow, so are you at the point where you're thinking about you need someone else to help with demand, or are you good?
I'm good at the moment, but that is a consideration that's sort of looking out for the future.
What a great, amazing position to be in, that you've created a product that's uniquely to you. You know what I mean? It's not like you're selling Lego. You actually created something that's got demand.
Mm-hmm. And still working, I suppose, with the Lego bricks. It's so iconic as well.
Are they the people that you're selling the product to? Are they extremely happy with your stuff?
Yeah, very much so.
Because they'd be like, we need another 20, and you're like, all right, I'm trying as hard as I can.
Yeah, it very much is chasing my tail at the moment, which is a good thing. Because the whole.
Well, I appreciate you taking a day off work for today, because
invitation to Lego.
So have you, did they come to you? How did that work? Did you go to them and show them a product you had, or did they come to you? I
went to them and showed them a product at the castle first of all. So
yeah.
A coffee meeting with the buyer from the castle, from Cardiff Castle. They loved the product and put in a large order to start with, and basically as soon as one got the product in. All the others wanted it. So the sort of knock-on effect that came on.
You don't have to answer this, and you can say, shut up, Rick, that's more, But what's classed as a big order for you? Above 20? Ballpark? 10, 100?
Units-wise?
Yeah.
Average order size that most of them are coming in on sort of about 50 to 100 units.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. And you're hand-packing those, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like that's a lot of work. It's one day of doing this set.
Yes, it's the most I suppose time-consuming, potentially boring part of the job as well, because it is just sorting out all the sets in multiples of. But ultimately, I put Netflix on the TV and so out.
So you've created yourself an assembly line, sort of per se, where you've got I don't know, one by one in that one, and X amount of brick in that. So you just pick them as you go along. Is that how you're doing it?
I set up cups for sections in front of me, depending on how many I need to make, all numbered, and then a tick sheet as I go down. So as I do the one by ones, I'll put them in every single cup, and then once they're all done, cross it off. Next one down.
Yeah, but that's how you're capturing and not making mistakes.
Yes, mistakes still do happen.
Oh, don't worry.
But they happen for Lego, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so it happens with us sometimes when we're picking brick arms orders, the little guns,
Yeah.
most people are okay, some people get really upset about it, but you're like, mate, when you order 300 little guns, you're going to make a mistake somewhere. Like.
Yeah, and ultimately, like if somebody messaged me and say I'm missing this brick, I just send it straight out.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same as Lego does. And at the end, then I weigh them all because they should all be within a range.
Oh, that's
I've got
smart.
Very precision scales. All goes on the scales if it's not within that range.
Similar to what Lego does, right? You just put it to the side and then redo it.
And then recheck and see what's missing, if anything.
What a great idea.
So yeah, there's a sort of a system in there. As I say, it's quite time consuming and a bit mind numbing, but I get to stick some anime on Netflix and just...
We're going to try and stock Andy's products. If we don't, by the time this podcast airs, which is going to be a couple of months because I'm a month or so ahead, we'll put a link down to his store. If we do sell his products, we'll put a link to our store with his products. That way he's just shipping to us and not having to ship all around the world. Mm-hmm. Well, Andy, I appreciate you taking a day coming to Legoland, being on a vlog and being on a podcast. You must feel like I'm using you.
Not at all. I mean, ultimately...
I just sort of have a look outside. It still is raining.
It's still hammering down, isn't it? Yeah, you've come all the way from Australia, so I wanted to come and see you.
This is not a dig to Ed, but this is a dig to Ed. Andy made an effort, so Ed, this is on you. Andy made an effort. That's all I'm going to put out there. But follow Andy on. Do you want your personal Instagram in there?
Stick the business one.
So we'll put the business stuff, business links, all that stuff. Follow Andy on his social media. And what is your social media called?
Instagram is at littlebig.art.
Yep. And website?
Website is littlebigart.uk.
So we'll put that down there. If not, we'll link to ours and we'll sort it out.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rick.